or do you think a more physical response would have been justified?
I think it would have been deserved. But
Thomas, our main character and narrator, returns home a few days early from a conference. She looks at him dead in the eye and casually says, "Oh, you're home early." He replies, "I see you've got company." And the way they speak to each other, like they're discussing the weather rather than blatant infidelity, is insanity. She then delivers the most outrageous line I've ever encountered. Can we talk about this in the morning? Maybe you could stay somewhere else tonight? The cheek!
graceful.
The bare-faced nerve!
I would have woke up Chris Breezy. In the 21st century, celebrated poet Francis Blundy writes a poem, The Corona of Vivian, which, when it mysteriously vanishes with no copies, becomes something of a legend to historians. More than a century later, scholar Thomas Metcalfe becomes one of those historians. But is Tom simply looking for a lost poem, or has he become consumed by a burning obsession with the lives of people who died decades before he was even born?
As soon as I read the blurb and I knew that this was going to be a diary within a diary and
sort of thing,
I just rolled my eyes already. I knew this
Face
was going to be
straight.
Did you, when you read the blurb, did it fill you with joy?
Definitely not.
Pause this video right now. Go and read What We Can Know by
Ian McEwan. And when you've read it, you can join us for the discussion.
Or you can join us anyway, because we're going to tell you all about it. My name's Elijah.
And I'm Joseph, and welcome to the Aisha Library.
So, what did you think of the book?
Terrible.
Boring. A waste of time.
You kind of ruined it to me.
Read it at all.
Remember, you kind of ruined it because you said it last week. Do you remember when we recorded last week and you were like, "Oh, that one was shit anyways." And then I was like, you spoiled it. But
it was horrible.
To be fair, I still gave it a fair shot though. I still gave it a fair shot
right the way through the book.
Literally, Elijah was like, "Hate it." I was like, "It's gonna be brilliant." Don't trust this guy. But I still gave it a fair shot. But
how many have you got?
I've got 4.
I've got 4 as well.
Excellent. Do you want to go first?
I'll go first.
Go for it.
Halfway through this book, I realised something. Of all the books we've ever read, this one deserves to shoot straight to the top of the list. Right to the top of the list of the best books to read if you want to fall asleep. Or maybe right to the top of the list of the worst books I've ever read. And I fully understand why so many people DNF it. This book is completely uncaptivating. I read every page from cover to cover, but I know I didn't absorb half of it. I lost count of how many times my mind wandered off, how many times I drifted into daydreams, and yes, occasionally straight up fell asleep. It's just monologue after monologue, drowning in pointless detail and mindless drivel. The diary within a diary trope has been done to death, and it almost never pays off, and this was no exception. Worse still, the entire thing felt pointless. Why are we learning about our future through the past diaries of future humans? It's fiction about fictional people telling fictional history of fictional events, and we're forced to sit through meticulous detail about this future world's historical timeline. If I wanted a history lesson, I'd go fuck a librarian. To be fair, the writing itself is good. Ian McEwan can clearly write. Some lines are genuinely poetic, simple but effective, like, I entered into the warm bath and I relaxed into its... I entered into the warm bath and I relaxed into its warm embrace. Or this one. There should have been something both dark and grand, even dramatic, in witnessing the person you love cast off, piece by piece, all of the elements of their relentless banality. All the elements of their being in relentless banality. These are beautiful lines, trapped inside a boring book. It makes me wonder, do authors who are already established, like Ian McEwan, feel like they don't have to try as hard to keep their readers engaged? Like they assume we'll keep reading no matter how slow or self-indulgent the pacing is because we trust the name on the cover? That they can sprinkle occasional nuggets of brilliance and we will be grateful enough to sift through 300 pages of sludge to find them? And are they right? Isn't that the dream of every writer? To write a book they actually want to write? And for that reason, 5 stars.
You're too generous. You're too generous with some of these authors as well, especially with some things. Now, I agree with you about the poeticism and like the poetry of some of these lines, but it's like I really think they're becoming easier and easier to do as time marches on. Even before, I'm not even talking about AI and ChatGPT and that kind of stuff, because that's a whole different... I'm just saying, like, raw, you could do it. I'm telling you, read some Shakespeare, watch some Shakespeare. Honestly, you could
make
do it.
anything sound good.
You can make anything sound
do
good.
it.
You could put lipstick on a pig. You can do it. It's doable.
And you still want to kiss it.
105 years! That has got to be an Aisha Library record for longest ever time skip. And we've had some bad ones. We've had a 7-year skip from Famous Last Words by Gillian McAllister.
I just rewatched that video.
We've had the 12-year time skip from Karen Slaughter's We Are All Guilty Here. We've even had a 16-year skip from Dating After the End of the World by Geneva Rose.
Oh.
But even me, with all of my years of experience under my belt, I have never seen anything like this. 105 years, we've skipped into the future. There is only one reason that I feel like I want to give this a pass, because it started where the book takes place, in 2119. There's nothing that I hate more than a book that opens in the past, especially if it's a riveting opening, which you would hope it would be, because who wants to be bored, right? But and then skipping forward 5 or 10 or even 50 years, never mind 100. I think our story should start where they begin and end where they end. But for our 3 viewers that tune in every week to watch me shit on these literary devices, worry not. I might not be complaining about time skipping, but I will still be complaining about flashbacks or, God forbid, dual timelines.
So what you're saying are you saying that you'd rather going back in time and going forward in time? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying...
Because you're saying that the book was set in 2119.
No, I'm saying the book started where it began. What I really hate is you get the opening, and it's good, you're locked in, it's good characters, action and all of that, skip, right? And then it time skips forward or back, or whatever direction you want to go in.
This did the same thing, but it just went back and then went forward.
It did the same thing, but it's like our main timeline was actually the one that we started with.
But there was no real merit to that, because it's not like he did any world building.
I'm being too generous is what you're saying. I didn't even realise what you're saying.
Yes, it's not like there was any merit to it.
Okay.
All he's done is write some numbers on the front of the page.
If you want to shit on the book as well, I'm not going to stop you. I was literally just looking for keep a little something.
No.
Honestly, 105 years is a disgrace in my opinion. That's disgrace. Dead and gone.
Have you no shame?
You know when they do like the 50-year skip and then the character from the beginning is old at the end or whatever, and it's all wrapped up. I still don't like that, bear in mind, but at least you could see it's wrapped up. Everyone's dead and buried long time by 105 years. Ridiculous.
McEwan imagines a future reshaped by catastrophic flooding, yet somehow it feels like we're wandering through a world stuck in the late 20th century. The supposed future he paints out has the cultural texture of the 1980s, static, disconnected, and strangely naive. If the world has advanced technologically, but society hasn't progressed beyond cassette tapes and landlines. There's this glaring absence of anything resembling a modern digital life. No social media, no online culture, not even a nod towards technology, how technology shapes identity or communication. It reads less like a futuristic vision and more like a daydream of somebody who's never logged into anything more complex than email. If you want to write about tomorrow, you need to at least have a basic grasp of today. And maybe that's the problem. The book feels like the product of a writer who's peering through the thick glass at a world he doesn't recognize. You can sense through the generational gap bleeding through every page. The imagination seems drained, the cultural awareness hollow. How can a novel about the next century feel so dusty? Did the futuristic aspect of this book bother you? Because for me, if you're going to set a story a full century into the future, then you better put some real world effort into the building of that world. I don't think it's unreasonable for readers to expect imagination, innovation, and at least a glimpse of what life might actually look like 100 years into the future. Instead, we've got a future that felt barely different from the present day. Do you think the premise of the future setting was just a decorative label designed to entice readers, or do you think our author actually gave it his best shot?
No,
and him being an old fart means that it's hard for him to create something that is meaningful to us young people. So he's a very old guy. I don't know if you know anything about him, but I think he's in his 70s or whatever.
Septuagenarian.
Yeah. So basically, he's trying to imagine the future, and a 70-year-old probably doesn't know anything about social media today. So he's trying to imagine the future, and he hasn't even added in anything to do with social media. He hasn't added in nothing to do with technology. He's just put the numbers on it. It's 2119, and he felt that's as good as it needs to
Ridiculous.
be. He spent all his time in writing the history books, the fake history, because basically in 2119 they're reading their history, which is our future, basically.
obviously.
And what happens in 2060? Oh, the Russians have taken over this, that, and the other. Like,
Nuclear
that's
war and all
not
of that
interesting.
stuff.
We're learning about stuff we're never going to need to know. Fair enough, if you're teaching us about what they do in the future, we could think, oh, that's,
good idea.
That's a good idea. Or that, I can't wait for the future, but it's just pointless. Don't
Honestly,
do time travel if you're not going to do it properly.
You have to lock in. It's doable as well. You don't have to be a certain age or below a certain age or whatever. Because like, who wrote Star Trek? How old were they when they wrote Star Trek? They wrote that in the 60s or whatever. I'm talking about the original one now, where they had like the flip phones before flip phones came out, and the transporter beams. They had all the stuff.
Anything about Star Trek?
All they did, they had all kinds of. Star Trek's got a bunch of like futuristic shit in there though, and it's just like it wasn't. They didn't get young people to write it.
Exactly.
So it's like you definitely could have done a bit better. And the whole point of writing a story of the future is so that we can see some of that shit. That's what we want.
What's the point if you're not going to do that?
You might as well have written it today and then made the poem from like 1819 or whatever. That would have actually made more sense, ironically. Yeah, you fucked up. I don't know if I'm being overly critical here, but does this book not feel a bit woke to you? I'm not one of those people that think woke is a dirty word, and I've used it here in absence of a more fitting word. When I say woke, I mean that the author is sneaking in politically polarizing topics as if we won't notice. We've got a dystopian future where the human race is reeling from nuclear war, that's Putin. We've got climate change, that's eco-politics. We've got internet, that's been resurrected by randomly Nigerian scientists. That's diversity and inclusivity. Even the use of the word corona feels deliberate.
Yeah, I didn't know why.
None of these things are inherently bad, bear in mind, but authors have to remember to actually write a good story as well. If you don't, people will just learn to associate inclusivity and diversity with poor quality entertainment. So they're going to be like, oh, last time I saw them blacks in here, it was shit. But
what do you think the significance of the title of the poem, the Corona?
I don't know why he decided to do that.
Do you think that was clever?
I hope not. I hope he didn't. But the whole time, every time I saw it, I was literally just like, apparently Corona means crown in Spanish, or in Latin, sorry. Apparently that's what it means. But it's just like, could have put the crown of Vivian.
Yeah, you could have done anything.
Do you know what I mean?
You could have
It's
picked
like
any other name except for that.
Literally
that's
any
a bad
other
word now. Anyway,
it really is. It's a diseased word.
Even that beer. I'm pretty sure they lost some sales from
I'm going to be real. Like, when bars open back up, people were like, Corona, hold the virus sort of thing. There's always that cloud over the word Corona, and it's just going to be there forever.
The annoying thing about this boring book is that it wasn't boring all the way through. This means that the author is capable of writing captivating dialogue. He just, for some reason, chooses not to. Thomas, our main character and narrator, returns home a few days early from a conference. He heads upstairs towards the marital bedroom, only to find his wife stepping out. Hair messy, clothes disordered, the whole stereotype of guilt personified. She looks at him dead in the eye and casually says, "Oh, you're home early." He replies, "I see you've got company." And the way they speak to each other, like they're discussing the weather rather than blatant infidelity, is insanity. She then delivers the most outrageous line I've ever encountered. Can we talk about this in the morning? Maybe you could stay somewhere else tonight? The cheek!
Graceful.
The bare-faced nerve!
I would have woke up Chris Breezy.
She's suggesting that he, the husband, should vacate his own home so that she and her lover can finish their night undisturbed. Unbelievable.
Ridiculous.
And Thomas finally snaps and says, "Get him out." And honestly, I want to know, do you respect the restraint that he showed in the moment? Was that dignified and admirable, or do you think a more physical response would have been justified?
I think it would have been deserved. But in all seriousness, though,
because the way he came home, he said, "Oh, I see you've got company."
Yeah, 100%. He was measured. It was a measured response, 100%. And it's like not everybody's capable of that in those kinds of situations, especially if it's been sprung upon you as well. You might just fly off the handle, but there's a certain level of respect that you have to have for like somebody that is so in check.
And the wife was like, "All right, I'll get him out. I just don't want any violence. I'll talk to him or whatever." And then she went back into the marital bedroom.
That's what I'm saying.
The marital bedroom, and then there were some whispers, and then the man came out. And imagine him just coming out. What did you nod at him? I didn't know, bro.
Do you know what I mean?
I didn't know, bro.
You know now. You know now. No, it's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
I said, "Can we talk about this?
Disgusting.
Maybe you could stay somewhere. Maybe I can stay somewhere.
Insane.
I got somewhere
Get
to
out
stay.
of my own house. I'm not homeless. I live here. What's going on?
I got some. I'll be downstairs.
No. Stay on the sofa. Can I just get the pillows? Ridiculous, mate. Ridiculous. Couldn't be me.
Oh, imagine the man coming downstairs for a drink of water.
He gets a beer out your fridge.
Boxers.
Gets a beer out your fridge.
He's panting. He's panting.
Yeah, 100%. Leaves on. Nah, that's not happening. I'll burn the whole house down. Don't piss me off. I'll burn the whole house down. See, I'm not measured like this guy. I'll do something that everybody will regret, including me.
Oh, gosh.
Disgraceful. The woman is the what? Vessel
Devil.
of the devil. And here it is, the ever-present flashback / dual timeline. How did I know? It's almost like I've seen this before. McEwan takes us back over a century in time to our second protagonist, a once promising academic called Vivian Blundy, who lost her first husband, Percy, to Alzheimer's disease. At first, it seemed as though this was going to be some kind of mystery-solving story where our characters attempt to solve the puzzle of the Corona of Vivian, a 100-year-old poem that was lost. As the book goes on, however, it seems to be more of a chronicling of a love affair between Vivian and her lover. Authors today seem to be more and more unable to resist the urge to turn their stories into love stories wherever applicable.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to feel like maybe I'm wrong here, and maybe they're onto something, because it's like everyone seems to want a love story.
Well, one thing I would say about this book is that this book needed something. So I think the author said, "Oh, we've got to have something in here,"
And it's always there, isn't it? Just love straight away. It's always
keep
there.
people occupied. I fear to know what this book would be without the love
That's a good point.
aspect in this book, so I can't knock him down for that. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily bad turning a story into a love story. Like I said, I think everybody, it seems to be less of a creative decision and more of like a more of like a just do it because you know that's what people want. And at a certain point, when you know what people want, you don't do it. It's actually on you. So I feel like I don't necessarily think it's bad as long as it's executed well. I'll take anything.
I'm not picky.
At all.
Towards the end of the book, things started to heat up. We're introduced to Vivian, who's caring for her husband Percy, now suffering from an advanced Alzheimer's. To cope, she's taken a lover, Francis Blundy. And if that were if that were where the story ended, most readers would probably think, okay, messy, morally complicated, but believable. But then Blundy decides that the logical step is murder. The logical next step is murder. Let's be honest, Percy has a lot of suffering ahead of him, unless we act now, he says, as if euthanasia by a mistress and poet is the most reasonable solution. And to cut the long rambling chapters short, they actually go through with it, and they kill him! Which is bizarre when you consider that Vivian refused to put Mercy into a care home because that would be cruel, but killing him is perfectly fine. Make that make sense. And what baffled me even more is why on earth did we need two timelines? The author can clearly write a compelling drama. A wife navigating caregiving, grief, betrayal, and a moral collapse alongside a lover conspiring to commit murder is more than enough to carry a novel
by itself, mate.
But instead, the whole thing gets diluted with this diary within a diary. Future humans reading their history nonsense. It's padding disguised as profundity. I have to ask, is this genuinely an example of brilliant literary craftsmanship, or is writing about infidelity just the cheapest way to keep readers emotionally hooked when the plot itself can't?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Like you said, you don't
you notice
need
in
extra.
both stories there was infidelity, right? So there was Thomas, he came home, his wife getting clapped, her cheeks getting clapped, and then we've got
Vivian and Francis
and Blundy.
Yeah.
So it's like this author thought the romance isn't enough. We're gonna have to throw some infidelity in there just to keep them.
It's ironic because how many books have we said needs a bit more cheating? Now I said this one needs a little bit less.
No. It definitely didn't. That was electric, but we needed more cheating.
Same as always. Maybe it's true. Authors just lean on it as a crutch because they're just like, it's drama. When you watch these drama TV programs, I know you don't watch any of them, but you know you've heard of them, Big Brother and Love Island and all these sorts of things. They're full up with infidelity because they just
How do you know?
I heard.
So yeah, I mean, what would you say if you got the chance to get the author by himself? What would you say to him?
Mano a mano. I would probably say,
great work.
5 stars. I loved it. Cut out that stuff, the future stuff, because it doesn't serve the plot. It doesn't serve the plot. It's a thing that's there, and it keeps the reader curious in so as much that you're wondering why it's there.
Even if you wanted to find a long lost poem from somebody back in the day, you still don't need to set it 100 years in the future.
Exactly. That's what I said. It could have been 100 years ago from today.
You don't. It's just an extra layer of complication.
It's extra. He just made it complicated for no reason. It's like Assassin's Creed. You know, when you got the future bits, you cut all of that out. Give me this shit I came here for, and then just make a whole game out of that.
Exactly that.
Ridiculous. It's right there. It's like, how did you not think of this before you got to 100 years in the future and nuclear war and the Russians and all this kind of stuff, climate change?
So you done?
Got one more.
Oh, okay.
So the corona was destroyed, and the crock of gold at the end of the rainbow was non-existent. The real crock of gold apparently was the friends we made along the way. Disgraceful and unsatisfying, in my opinion. People may see this as a very simplistic and maybe even a Neanderthal way to view literature, but I believe readers should get what they were bloody promised. We spent all this time building up this poem, this supposed gem of literature. It all feels almost like a lost masterpiece to us. No, in fact, it is a lost masterpiece. Having it revealed to be destroyed right at the end when we were expecting our heroes to find it, especially after all the code deciphering, it just feels like the rug was pulled out from under us.
There was a poem that was said towards the end.
It was said.
I
think it was. But
it wasn't explained.
It wasn't explained, and it was like, we want Tom to find it, because he's the guy that's obsessed about it.
Exactly.
It's like, we don't want it just said. I don't care about it. He cares about it. Do you know what I mean? Ridiculous. Unsatisfying ending is the worst, most disrespectful way to end a book. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, unsatisfied is the worst feeling in the world. I want to finish, and I want to finish good.
I make sure I'm getting mine. I get mine. I hope you get yours.
So, 1, would you recommend a book? And 2, what would you rate out of 100?
Realistic.
Or would you rate it out of whatever we normally rate it out of? Was it 5?
Yes, 5. Realistically, you can't give this more than a 2. Realistically, I think 2 might even be generous, to be honest. But
I don't think you can give this more than a 1. I liked, if not for the infidelity.
This is why I kind
0.
Okay.
0.
Yeah, that's peak. But yeah, realistically, I wouldn't recommend it because I just feel like the whole premise of the book was unnecessary. You have to. There's some very fundamental changes that I would make. Not like teething problems, like change the whole what the book is.
Yeah, I would recommend this book to somebody I don't like, if they were compelled to read it.
Force their eyes open.
Yeah, but apart from that, don't, just leave it out.
A load of good reviews about it though. Crazy.
I saw a load of
glowing reviews.
I saw a load of good reviews, and I saw a load of horrible reviews.
I didn't see not one single horrible review, which is funny.
No, I saw a lot of people say they DNF'd the book. A lot.
I did not see not one single
bad review. So I said,
review.
that's the book we need to read.
I saw at least 10 or 12, and they were all glowing. I was like, let's not suck his dick too hard. No, just
yeah, that's why.
Yeah,
good reads. Yeah, lots of DNFs.
Fair enough.
Lots of DNFs.
Gonna have to.
So yeah. All right. Well, if you don't have a quote of the day,
I do have a quote.
I said, because I don't have one. You can't have one.
Mm-mm. So we can never have one.
Go on then.
Quote of the day: anyone can find the dirt in someone. Be the one that finds the gold.
Gonna have to start digging.
There is no gold in you.
Till next time.
Till next time.